Episode 347, Innovation and Boundaries. This is the Change Underground. I'm your host, John. Decarbonise the air, recarbonise the soil. Quote, a kit designed to quickly and cheaply turn petrol cars into hybrid vehicles has won the prestigious James Dyson Award and could one day help cut Australia's transport emissions. Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology student Alexander Burton, 21, on Wednesday claimed the National Design Award for his creation called REVR, that's R-E-V-R, or Rapid Electric Vehicle Retrofit, that he initially designed for his 20-year-old Toyota Corolla. If successful, the REVR kit could add an electric motor and battery pack to standard petrol vehicles to deliver up to 150 k's of zero-emission driving. And from a little further on in the article, from thedriven.io, entitled Australian Student Wins Award for Design That Could Turn Petrol Cars into Hybrids, converting petrol cars into electric vehicles was typically an expensive and time-consuming process, he said, involving replacement of existing parts with custom-built mechanics. His vision for the REVR kit was to create an axial flux motor that could be mounted on the rotor of a disc brake, a battery pack that could fit inside the spare wheel well, and a sensor that could be added to the accelerator, end quote. This is the sort of incremental change we need to get the move from fossil fuel to electric vehicles up and running. Now, 150 click range is not impressive, but how many people, even in this wide brand land, cover more than that in a day? And even if you have to, you still have the petrol engine in the vehicle. I suspect this option would be much like your standard mobile phone. It's recharged every night and ready to go in the morning. So too with the 150 clicks of electric range. A quick Google wang reveals the average commute length in Australia's capitals, and Sydney is the highest, at a terrifying 15 clicks. So no drama there with the 150. A cheap way to convert diesel vehicles to electric for the short-range runs will make a huge difference to emissions and reduce costs for the motorist. Young Alexander received a $8,800 prize to continue development of his idea. The sooner the better, I say. And as a quick reminder of why we need these sorts of innovations comes an article from The Guardian entitled Earth Well Outside Safe Operating Space for Humanity, Scientists Find. Quote, Earth's life support systems have been so damaged that the planet is well outside the safe operating space for humanity, scientists have warned. Their assessment found that 6 of the 9 planetary boundaries had been broken because of human-caused pollution and destruction of the natural world. The planetary boundaries are the limits of key global systems, such as climate, water and wildlife diversity, beyond which their ability to maintain a healthy planet is in danger of failing. And from further on in the article, the planetary boundaries are not irreversible tipping points beyond which sudden and serious deterioration occurs, the scientist said. Instead, they are points after which the risks of fundamental changes in the Earth's physical, biological and chemical life support systems rise significantly. End quote. So yeah, things are not good, but they could be a lot worse. The one area where humanity is doing well in these boundaries is the ozone layer, and that is back within a safe range, and we fixed that because we'd broken it. Whilst we have form as a species for buggering things up, we can also have hope we can fix it. The bolt-on electric conversion kit discussed previously being a case in point. And whilst I'm not looking forward to our coming summer, El Nino and all that entails, I have a feeling we might just pull this one off. Probably because I was inculcated with the idea that we are a flawed, magnificent, adaptable and thoughtful species by Tom Baker's Doctor Who back in the 70s and 80s. And the more I contemplate the REVR from earlier in the episode, the more convinced I am that, 1, it's a piece of genius because it's so obvious once someone's done it, and 2, we'll see many more of these types of innovations coming at us fairly quickly. It's not dissimilar to the sand-based heat battery out of Finland, where cheap materials, ag silos, sand and an induction heater, were connected together to heat the sand with renewable energy. This is then drawn off to heat a home, greenhouse, stock shed or whatever during winter. The silo needs to be insulated to hold the heat, but from what I can remember, the sand reached about 800 degrees C by the end of summer, and that heat was sufficient to do the job through a long finish winter and spring. Simple components organised in different ways to solve real problems. It's what makes us human after all. Okay, a little housekeeping. Now then, as my loyal listeners will be aware, this show has been a little haphazard in its publishing schedule. So to overcome this, because I have other shows and paid podcasting production work and so on, I'll be moving the change underground onto a seasonal basis. In fact, I'm moving all my shows onto that. The plan is a 10-week season, 3 weeks off, and then another 10 and so on. This will allow me to batch record on a theme and dive much more deeply into each episode. I had considered just bumping along in the hope of returning to a weekly schedule, but I don't think time will allow this. And as Change Underground and its previous incarnation, World Organic News, was the first podcast I started way back on the 1st of February 2016, I feel I should give my baby a respectful amount of time and effort. If news pops up during the seasons I think is relevant, I'll throw in a bonus episode to keep you, my listener, informed as best I can on the continuing climate crisis and what we're doing to combat it. As this is episode 347, I have a back catalogue I need to sort into seasons, because I think it'll be a bit odd for season 1 to have those 347 episodes and subsequent seasons to be 10 episodes each. Now this will take some time, but I'm currently reorganising the JM podcasting show into this format, so lessons will be learned as I rearrange those 80 episodes. In the meantime, I'll try to publish an episode a fortnight until the reorganisation is completed. I thank you for your patience and continued listening support. It does mean the world to me. Thank you. Until then, let's decarbonise the air and recarbonise the soil. This has been a JM Podcasting Services production. Link in the show notes.